If you recall from the previous week, we said we wanted to see price get to this level structurally as the immediate target. Also having it in mind that the 10-year yield is structurally bullish, but it's not because of growth, but because investors are seeking premium. In an ideal situation, the dollar seeks yield. So if yield is going higher, you see a bullish dollar as well, meaning that bond prices are down. So for this market now, it's not about what next, where do we expect price to go next? That's not the point. We've seen this guy give us a bullish delivery, and our next interest is on the dollar. Want to see what the dollar is doing. The previous weeks we were saying we wanted to see a bullish dollar, but last week we said we mapped out somewhere in here and in here. We said, should the dollar not follow the yield and we see a reason for a decoupled market, I mapped out two levels here that those could be the levels where we'll see price react and then go lower. But so far we've seen the dollar seek yield. But will it extend? Will it be an extended move? Well, we'll have to see how the dollar reacts inside of this block. So this block is this right here, this candle open here, and then this candle close. This is what I'm looking at. Why this particular candle? Because of the behavior, manipulation behavior right here. This here, price took this out. This high, we had buy side here. We had this relative equal highs here, buy side here. This move, this swing high took it out and then broke, right? So this block now is interesting. I'm extending to the right. This is the 50% of this block. So I want to see how price reacts at the low, the high, and the midpoint of it. For a bullish pricing, this will go higher, come back, and then keep going higher, or just climb here, react inside of here, and keep going higher. That could happen. If you look here, we said this is from the previous week. We said I'll prefer to see bullish reaction in this block, talking about this teal shaded area. A complete defeat lower will signal a decoupled market. So if this defeats this teal shaded block and then comes lower, it means the market is decoupled. Why is it decoupled? Because the yield is structurally bullish, but dollar is bearish. That will be the reason for the decoupling. Focus is here the next couple of weeks. So this is where our attention is now. The yield has gone higher. We've seen that it has gone higher. Will the dollar join it in going higher? We'll see by how it handles itself inside of this block. But overall, I want to take a bullish stance because this is interesting. This is June 2025. This is September 2025. This is January 2026. So January took this relative equal lows from, these are multi-month lows in here. So it's interesting how January took it out and then we had a bullish pivot or a change in character. We could see price come higher because this is a behavior that has a tendency of sending price higher one more time at least into this high. So I favor that the dollar seeks yield. I favor that right now. So how does the dollar affect the euro? If the dollar is bullish this week, then I would anticipate a bearish market in euro and pound. If you recall, in euro, I was interested in this block, how price was going to react inside of this block. Of course, overall, price has been bullish. If you look, this is the 4-hour. Let's see the daily. Let's see the weekly. It's been bullish. All right. But what do we see as well? We have this gap here that has only sell side delivery. And what has price done? Price went higher, delivered buy side into it. This is a fair value gap. This is an inefficiency. This is a gap, whichever one you want to call it. Understand that it is gaps in price when they make sense. All right. So it went higher and then broke lower, taking out this low here. This low sends price higher, taking out buy side here, taking out buy side all the way into these highs, and then broke lower. A pullback into this doesn't necessarily mean that price will keep going higher. We could see a reaction in here that will at least come and challenge these old lows. It's very likely. All right. So this was a text from last week where we said focus is in the shaded block as last line of defense for the shorts slash sells. So this right here is the shaded block we paid attention to. that this is the last line of defense. If the shots, if sellers don't get into this block, if this block is defeated, then this will, most likely be a continuation higher. That was the narrative for that week. We said bullish pivots right here, this guy suggests effort to go deeper into blocks. So I was explaining at the time that this pivot here, why is a pivot? Why is this a pivot? Because this high sends price lower, taking out this low, and then a break of this high makes this place a bullish pivot. I want to see price come back into it and continue going higher. Why does it make sense in this scenario as well? I mentioned that we had a gap here, and ideally I would call for this to be a continuation higher. But given how price was reacting inside of this block right here, and how important this block is in the grand scheme of structure, I wanted to see this as the last line of defense. So I wanted to see price go lower from here. Okay, and that is what we saw. And then we said that if it goes higher and comes back into this, then it will likely be a continuation higher. I also mentioned that. So this week, what is interesting, why I've shaded this block out already, is the fact that we saw this down movement that sends price higher, manipulation behavior, and then a break of that down movement right here, the swing low, a break of it. So a pullback into this level. What level is that? This shaded block I like. I want to see how price reacts inside of it. We have the midpoint of it, which is also this, and then we have this gap here, this inefficiency here. I anticipate for price to trade inside of here. I have this midpoint to focus on. I have this inefficiency here to focus on. So I want to see this behavior. This is a behavior. You want to pay attention to this behavior in price. What is this behavior? We have this swing low that sends price above this swing high here. And then a break of that swing low is manipulation behavior, a pullback into it. If you're in line with the trend, you want to take that, So want to see this kind of behavior inside of here. From this block here into this midpoint, it can, shade above it if it wants to, but I want to see price close below this level inside of here this week for a continuation lower. If you like this kind of teaching, come to the community. This is the Bullish Community FX, where we hold each other accountable. We look at price for what it is, no gimmicks, no drama. If you are new to this industry, you want to be in a place where it's not entertainment, you're learning a skill. Okay? If you're wrong, you see why you're wrong. We are holding you by the hand. Okay? But it's for only serious traders. It's not for everybody. It's for only people who want to do better. So if you're brand new in the industry and you don't know your left from your right, you're hopping strategies, it's not about the strategy. Any strategy can actually make money if you pay attention, if you're disciplined enough to use it. It's about you. It's about understanding yourself, understanding who you are, and how you can apply yourself to these markets. It's what it's about. It's not about learning from the next guru or paying for the next mentorship. These things they sell you guys, it's not mentorship. It's a course. They sell you a course, not a mentorship. A mentorship includes giving you homework and then you doing it and then following up on that and then a lot more than that. That is mentorship. Click the link below. If you remember, we talked about how this high was taken by this guy and then price broke lower, taking out this low here that took this high out. So that became interesting for this pullback into here. And this is the cable. Remember, this is bullish order flow. This is an uptrend. So this candles here that sends price higher, taking out this guy and then breaking lower, a pullback into this guy. It's interesting for shots if this were a bearish market, but because this is a bullish market, our interest is on this block here that took this one out. So this thing I keep saying about this block that takes this guy out is just manipulation behavior. That's what it is. So it's fixed people to buy and then it sells into the old lows, and then now people think, okay, it's broken structure, so a pullback into here should be a continuation lower, right? And then it holds the break and then boom, it takes out sell side, buy side, stop losses. It takes all that out in this move here. So if you bought here and then it broke lower and then you sold here and then it has gone higher again, taking you out 2 times. You might want to be careful with this one now. So this is manipulation behavior. That's what it is. So a break of this guy suggests that this could be a bullish structure going higher. So what is also supporting this is the fact that it is bullish order flow. It's an uptrend, and then we have this gap here, this inefficiency here, the fair value gap. You extend it to the right, and then you see how price reacts inside of it and fills it in to the tick, and then it's pulled back inside of here now. So what is making this place interesting is what you already know. Boom, boom, pull back inside of here. Is it going to hold? Is it going to go lower? If the range bound should continue, it's possible, but I don't think seeing this guy here and then the pullback inside of here, and price has been in this range for, it can be in the range for as long as it wants, but this is July 2025, and now we're seeing this kind of reaction. It's possible that it could go higher. The only reason I'm paying attention to this a little bit more is the fact that we have a multi-month high here. This is July 2025, and this is September 2025. So this is a multi-month high. Price took it out and then broke the structure lower. This here, this right here, it might not be enough for all this damage that was done here. Unless it's a very fast market, then we can see this continue going higher. But it's also possible to see the range bound try to accumulate some more in here. It's possible. Have that in mind as well. So don't forget the bullish community. This community is for serious traders who want to trade like professionals. So it's a community where like-minded traders meet, hold each other accountable, no noise, we do homework, we have fun, we interact with price. That is what we do. So like I said, the lifestyle is out there already. There's no need adding to that. Let's bring some skill to the game. All right, if you're interested in that kind of a thing, be a part of this community. If you're a trader, if you're brand new, be a part of it. If you've been in the game and you still don't know what you're doing, you're not winning, be a part of it. It's for you. All right, so this is gold, and I'm not going to reiterate so much on what we expected to see here and how I wanted to see price react out of here, and then it did that and we got lucky. And then how we said that this block here is problematic for the longs, and this block here could be problematic for the shorts, right? Should this short-term correction continue. So this block now has been completely defeated. Interesting, right? I like it. The next thing I would want to see is, I already marked it off, this level here, this gap here, inside of this daily range. I want to see price return somewhere into in between here and this level, and then trade lower, something like this. This is my flagship pattern, so it will always be this way. All right, so something like this sort of behavior, it mustn't be like this, but this kind of behavior, whenever I draw this, it's a behavior I want to see. I want to see price behave a certain way. I want to see it insinuate longs, pull back, right? Insinuate longs again and make more people buy, and then break that guy. When that guy who sends price above that guy is broken, now it's interesting for at least a short-term correction. All right, so that is what this flagship pattern is about. It's a behavior. For this guy, the Nasdaq, on this guy, I said I wanted to see this sort of behavior. I wanted to see this sort of behavior for a continuation higher, and so far we haven't seen that. What we've seen is that this block here, send price higher, people were selling this market from here at this high, and then they had all these gains. Not everybody took their profits. A pull back into this guy, takes this guy out. Interesting, right? And this block here, this last fake down candle where they bought the last move that sent it higher, when it is broken, when that low is broken, it means these guys have been swept. It means there was liquidity here, price traded into it, and now we've seen this break. Okay, so a pullback into this guy, ideally given the behavior, would be to see a short-term correction going lower. something in this form, something like this. So until price takes out this low, this remains an uptrend. So price can as well come in here and then go all the way higher, making this high here the high that sent price lower and then got broken, right? Manipulation behavior, and then a pullback into it would be a continuation for the old highs. So while price is in here, I'm not thinking sells. That would be me trying to sell the top, and I'm not trying to sell the top. I'm trying to buy into the trend. All right. So that's it for Nasdaq. We're still anticipating bullishness, knowing that there could be, this could be a problem. This block here could be problematic for the bulls, but we are still going into the week, looking for bullishness. Don't forget to be a part of the community if you love what you're getting. If you love this kind of market analysis, be a part of the community. It will only do you good. All right.